figured she was still shaken from the night before. And so, I ended up comforting.
So first off, yes, we are only 2 episodes into RE Monster, but I can say it with my chest. I think this is my favorite new show of 2024 so far. And let me explain why, because I know it's a little premature, as they say, to kind of call this out, but I am a big fan of shows that take a concept, and in this case, that concept is isekai. And they do something unique or have a twist to it. In this case, and obviously you can say, oh well, how about vending machine, Dom? It's like that was just stupid. Or how about the one where I was reincarnated as a sword? Also stupid. I am interested, and I really love when they have unique, good concepts. And the fact of being reincarnated as a goblin and going through those phases. Now, there is one blot spot, or there's one spot on it that I will say is that, and it might be because of the pacing or the story they need to tell, but we didn't really spend enough time with Gabaru. We didn't spend enough time with Gabaru as just a little green goblin. You know, by last episode, he was evolved into more of a different version of that. And then now this episode, he ended up as a ogre or like a oni or something like that. Like, I get they're calling him an ogre, so I'll go with ogre. So that's the only kind of like little nitpick, is that we didn't spend enough time. But if that's in favor of being able to tell more of this story, I'm probably in favor with it. But I love when these stories kind of like are able to take this concept of being isekai and then offer something unique. Now, the first twist was that he was from another world already. A world with abilities and magic and like looked like vampires, and like, so he was from a weird world as it was. And then he isekai'd into this world as a goblin. And he's built up, he's built up his family. He's building up the other goblins. He's, they're evolving with him. He's building up like a goblin army. He's building his home here, which he calls his home. And I just think it's just such a cool concept. And he brought over his ability to eat and consume and gain abilities by consuming. So like he did the unicorn and the bear, he got a bunch of really killer stuff. And when he had his selection screen, I thought it was really cool too, because he was able to choose like, knights this or god's power this. So he's able to go through this really, really crazy evolution process, to where, as opposed to others, it might kind of like still happen for them, but they might not have as many choices as Bro does. And I just think that that's really, really cool. So anyways, episode number 2, absolutely fantastic. Honestly, like 9 out of 10. Like, this episode was so fucking like, oops. This episode was so dope. I'm not trying to have YouTube, not have ads on my video, but this episode was so cool. And I really love how it explored kind of like, well, this is going to go back to one of the things that I want to talk about too, but I like how they explored kind of like how the goblins, because of course they do, how they reproduce. And essentially they go out and they get women, like human women, they bring them back, and, they do stuff. And these women, because the goblin gene is so strong, they give offspring that is more goblin oriented, or that's goblin, the goblin piece takes advantage of the human trait. Now, before I kind of say anything further, because he does do a lot of stuff with the women that they bring, is because he kind of put the kibosh on the girls that they brought, because some immoral compass within him was like, we can't do this. And that's how the goblins tend to reproduce. They do have female goblins, and more than likely the female goblins can also reproduce, but there's heavily more males, like 80-20. There's way more males than there is females. So to keep their species going, they have to go and seek out other means. So because he kind of put the kibosh for a variety of reasons on the whole, at least for this round, getting humans and reproducing with them, it's like, how are they going to keep the species going? At least in their goblin village, how are they going to keep the species going? That's going to be a question that Gabaru is going to have to answer come down the line. And I really genuinely hope they explore it. Now, taking a step back, So they bring 5 or 6. Let me see. The alchemist, the red hair, the 2. I think there's one more in there. I think they bring 5 women, and they basically raided their carts or whatever, and they killed all the men, and they brought back 5 women. And what that tells me already is the goblin men, and just in general, are way more strong than humans. And they're way stronger than humans. So that's kind of crazy already. But they brought back 5 females, and I think 2 of them are like, you know, gathering maternal types. One is like a warrior, which is the red hair who's been warming up to Gabaru. One's an alchemist, which he can really overly use the alchemist. And there's another one in there. I don't remember what they said that she does. But, you know, very useful women that they brought in to this thing. He goes in and he begins like a relationship, like a parasocial relationship with them. And he kind of saves them. And he's like, you know, I can't do anything about it now, but, you know, we'll get you back to a human village at some point. And he saves it from being attacked from goblins. He puts all the goblins in their place. Like, holy crap, he puts them in their place. He sacrifices, he tortures and like publicly executes one of the goblins for going against his orders to go after these women. And of course, the goblins, they have, you know, needs. So they went to go fulfill said needs there. And he publicly executed them. And like the main dude that was his opposer. And the other ones, they got like just trashed. And he asserted his dominance left waist to Sunday. And that came to find that those girls that they brought in, you know, they you know, appreciativeness, and they had certain feelings towards him. But one of them, which is the red-haired girl, has kind of like more eager romantic feelings towards him, enough to where she went and spent time in his bed. And she went and spent time, you know, she went and spent time with him. And the other goblin girl also did as well too, to not be one-upped. So I thought that's going to be an interesting dynamic between him and this red-haired girl. I think it's going to be a really interesting thing. And then obviously the episode ends with the big bear fight and him almost dying and eating the bear, gaining all kinds of abilities. And then he makes his way back to the village as this ogre thing, which is really, really cool as well too. So it's really cool in the OP. It's cool to see him and then all of them kind of go through different evolutionary lines as they go through, which I think is just really cool. So anyways, overall, RE Monster is absolutely incredible, absolutely fantastic. I loved every moment of this show. I just thought it's just so good and easily my favorite new media product this season. I think it's just such a cool concept, and I can't wait to see more. They're crushing it so far. And easily after the Mushoku Tensei and Slime anime, so far it's RE Monster as far as I can't wait to see more. So anyways, let me know what you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. And my friends, I'll see you guys next week for episode 3. Peace.